Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the TBScouts Talking Head Show. I'm your host Boris here with,
Coach Tally.
and today we're gonna go ahead and jump right into our interview with our special guest, Tally. I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and kick that off.
Hey, we got another fun-filled interview with another top champion A1 guest right here, all the way from Dallas. School is Dallas Madison, and it gives us the great honor to bring on our show Coach Mobley. Go ahead, Coach. Why don't you tell us a little bit give us a quick or a brief bio of yourself?
Okay, yeah, like you said, my name is Coach Damien Mobley. I'm the head boys basketball coach uh, at Dallas Madison High School. I think this is my second stint at Madison. I was the head coach there from 2008 to 2013. Um, my first time, and then I've been back since 2018, 19, into the present. And so, like I said, this has been my second stint at Dallas Madison High School as the head basketball coach. We've been blessed, man, to be successful, and I think we've won 5 state championships, if I'm not mistaken. Five, some people might, yeah, five. And we just hope to continue this tradition here at Madison. So that's just a little something about me.
Well, hey, Coach, you made a great point about you've been there. Again, like I explained to you in our little prelude, we were talking. If I'm correct, and like I told you, first saw you guys back in 1819, and I'm gonna break down real quick. Go back and what I've followed. First time we saw you, Cole played you in the champion in the state championship or the state tournament in 18 and 19, where you guys beat them and then went off to beat Brock for the championship. And then the following year in 1920, you guys capped it and you did a co-championship due to COVID. And then in 2021, you lost to Tatum. And then in 2021, or excuse me, 21 to 22, you went ahead and beat Cole in the actual championship. So for me, I've been watching for the last 4 years and see that you brought home 3 championships as far as state titles. So with that success, how do you or what do you credit of doing that? Is it the players? Is it the coaching? Or is it collectively? What is the true secret sauce you got up there?
Well, I credit a little bit of everything. All of that included players, coaches, administration, student body, community. It embodies it all. But I think the main thing that somewhat sums it up is probably work. Just our work ethic, man. We work hard, and the players know that traditionally coming in and out. Going that we just work hard, and we believe that hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. So we just hang our hat on trying to outwork everybody, outwork our opponents. You know what I mean? By being a small school, we just try to stay competitive with being, just outworking everybody.
You mentioned small school because you are a 3A, and as far as your success you've been having, what are you guys looking to have return? As far as I know, you had about what 3 or 4 seniors last year that actually
Um,
graduated. So what
Seven,
you
we
guys
had
looking like
seven.
this year?
Actually, we had seven seniors. We had seven seniors that graduated.
Oh
So
man.
I think this probably was the largest senior class I have ever coached. I don't think I ever had seven seniors on the team at one time. But we was blessed, and it was sort of like a gift and a curse because I had seven seniors and seven sophomores. So man, and my seniors this year were a great group of leaders to somewhat show the sophomores what was expected out of the program, show them what hard work looked like, and actually was able and blessed to show them how success looked also. So we'll be what I like to call a WIP, work in progress, but but we'll be competitive, man. The sophomores are, I guess, as juniors considered young, but they work hard, man, and all of them have experienced being in the trenches. So hopefully that experience from last year carries into this year, and we continue to be, successful and competitive at a small school.
I got a quick question.
Go ahead.
Coach, when was the last time y'all won a state championship?
Just this past season.
Oh, just this last year?
Yeah, they're the ones who be cold.
Okay. And
Hmm.
so Tally, he's the expert with our smaller schools. I tend to work with like the 5As and 6As. So this last year I was looking at the 5A schools and 6A. So I wasn't that familiar with who all was competing at 3A. So y'all just won last year. So
Yes.
that's congrats. That's
I
that's that's
appreciate it.
good.
Appreciate it.
So you mentioned 7 sophomores. Give me some names. Give me some standouts. Give me some who I need to be following, Coach. Come on now.
Um, um, we have probably returning that was really in the rotation, maybe four. Philip Thomas, which is the guard, junior. I have a junior guard is going to be pretty good. And I think the biggest thing and the biggest sophomore will probably be our big man, probably like 6'5" kid, Spencer McLeod, who actually was playing behind 2 6'6" kids and 1 6'7" kids, so he really didn't see a lot of floor time, but he had a lot of practice reps, and he's had a good summer, and I'm expecting a good fall from him. So he's one of the kids I think that'll jump on the radar, just out of nowhere. But so that's just to name a few that we'll have. That, I'm expecting some big things from.
Okay. So tell us something else you want to share about your program. What do you like take? Because I also heard that you got a few players that play both football and basketball. And I heard you guys had an actual kid that played their very first football for the 49ers, I believe, 2 weeks ago, I believe. Catch a first
Danny
touchdown,
Gray,
something like that.
yes, yes. We had a kid, Danny Gray, that graduated from Madison in 2018. Went to SMU and was, blessed to be drafted this year to the 49ers. And Danny Gray is probably one of the kids that sort of symbolize our athletic program. By us being a small school, yeah, we have a lot of athletes that play two sports. Um, so, I mean, last year I think our state MVP, actually was a two-sport athlete, and he probably was a good basketball player, but he ended up signing and um, he's playing in Utah now,
Okay.
basketball. And so it just shows, the athleticism of our kids that they might be good at basketball, would be successful in basketball, but they go off and play other sports because they're athletes, more than
Yes.
anything.
I think that's cool. I want to just highlight that, there was an athlete from your school, a 3A school, that is now in the pros.
Yes,
And I think that's just awesome because, I think a lot of kids these days, they have that like D1 or bus mentality, which basically what I mean by that is it's not about going to a D1 college, but they always feel like you got to go to the biggest school or the biggest program to get a look, but that's not the case. If someone went to a 3A school, you got kids that leave the state and transfer to these big programs to try to get looks, but you've got proof from your 3A school of kids that just did things right, graduated from a 3A school. If he went to SMU, that's a D1 school, that's a D1 college, but you can make it to a D1 school from a 3A. You don't got to transfer nowhere. Um, and then they reached the end goal, which is making it to the pros, which you can't get any further than that. So I just wanted to just take a minute and just uh, shed some more light on that story, because that's awesome that you had a 3A kid who stayed at your 3A school, who didn't transfer somewhere, um, got a college scholarship, did his work in college, and now he's playing pro. So that's just an example that, it doesn't really matter where you go. If you perform, like you said, and if you put in that work like you're supposed to, that hard work, then, you can get real far. So congrats on that. That speaks volumes.
thank you. Like, I'm glad to hear somebody say that, because that's one of the things that we hear all the time. Um, that at 3A we're not competing against anyone, and that our kids aren't, by them not having the best competition or being in the biggest schools, aren't prepared to go to Division 1 schools, and then definitely ultimately not prepared to go to a professional league. And I see Danny as one that has proven them wrong thus far. One of many also, although, but Danny is the latest. So
So going back to that, the fact you guys are a 3A. So if I'm correct, your maximum students allowed in your school is 512. I think that's this year's numbers. If I'm correct, I might be off by two, but again, I know 500. Let's just say 500, right? So with that being said, how do you, this question always comes up. How do you juggle the multi-sports athletes to where as though I know football is first and then basketball is second, but how do you make sure you grab those football guys since you guys do have a few proven football kids that play basketball? How do you juggle that?
well, like you said, about 3A being, I think the maximum is 524, something like that. To be honest, man, we have less than 300 kids. When somebody on the outside looking in, they would think Madison was one of the big 3As. No, we're actually a small 3A, and definitely we're the smallest public school in the DFW Metroplex area. So that's for one. Um, but we've been blessed, man, to have just a sprinkle. It's really not a big issue when it comes to the two sport or the multiple sport athletes, because like I said, we have a team of 15, and maybe only two or three will play a sport that comes before basketball season. But how we do it is we really promote that. We really promote that. Another thing, another issue that falls with that, being at a small school, is by me being a coach, I have to coach more than one sport. So I'm a multiple sport coach, and like for example, for cross country, I'm the head cross country coach, and what that does is give me an advantage to work with my guys, before basketball season. So we have a cross country team full of basketball players, soccer players, girls basketball players, and so the kids just, like you said, it's no problem, and they're athletes. So they want to be involved in each sport each season. And so it's not really hard juggling that. We're a small coaching staff, so most of the coaches coach um, multiple sports, and so you just take your athletes from one sport with you to the next sport. And
Okay.
so that's a thing that's blessed, and we have a good relationship as a coaching staff, man. And we just understand the importance of high school and the importance of the kids just playing multiple sports, being in multiple situations. And each sport carry their own culture. And I think that's the great thing about our athletic program and our multiple sport. Each sport carries their own culture. And so expectations in each coach, each sport is different. And, coaching styles are different. And that sort of helps our kids as they move on to college also. They just don't get used to one voice. They understand that there's going to be, multiple coaching philosophies. And so just juggling the multiple sport athlete is actually a blessing. We prefer those
Okay.
than one sport athletes.
Okay. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about your schedule. I'm looking at your numbers here. For the last 4 years, you guys roughly play about close to 40 games. Am I right? About
If,
40.
if
And I, and
possible,
I,
yes.
and I see that they improve as far as your numbers. Like you lost 16 1 year, 12, 6, and then 8. How are we looking this year? How many out of district games you looking to have, and how competitive are you going to be
Um,
since you lost so many seniors?
we lost so many seniors. Now we'll still be competitive. We'll
Okay.
still be competitive. Because we have guys that can play basketball.
Okay.
But what
I
I
like
like,
that.
what I like to tell people is, it's a difference between that guy that can play a basketball game and that guy that can win a basketball game.
Ooh.
So right, like
Okay.
that's why I say we're a work in progress. So right now we know how to play. Right now we're just trying to learn how to win. Like the seniors that left before them, and so we'll be competitive. Um, our our non-district schedule will be just as tough as it's always been. And if you look at our schedule, man, and you'll notice that I'm glad you noticed the losses decreasing. Um, it just shows the progression in our team.
Yes,
That
sir.
that first team was young, and so it went from, and actually it's been a 4 year span. So that them guys that lost that 16 those 16 games or those games, those were the guys last year that I think only lost, I'm not sure, maybe 5, 6 games, something like that. And
Right.
schedule just continued to get tougher because um, what you said. Like, guys, we always hear that players playing in 3A aren't prepared, or they don't have the same competition of the 4A, the 5As, and the 6As. And it's also a luxury for us that we're in the city. We're in the inner city, and so we have to compete. Everybody that we play is going to be 5A, 6A, or 4As. And so we get to schedule. I think we probably have one of the toughest schedules in the state, and it shows from the beginning. And so what it does is it just helps us. And one thing I want to point out about those losses is, like in 18, I don't think we won our first game until game number 11. I think
Okay.
we were 0 and 10, maybe, going into the Christmas season, into the Christmas tournament, and we still end up winning the state championship. And so I always try to point that out to our guys. And that was by design, and that was with that group. Also, my first year coming back, where we had players that knew how to play, but it was just the winning wasn't there yet, so they didn't know how to win. And so it's somewhat, I got that same feeling with this group. It gives me that same feeling where these guys can play. We're gonna be in the games. We're gonna be competitive, but it's gonna be a process with us learning how to win, especially with the schedule that we play. So if that if that gives you an answer about how
No, it
we'll be.
does. It does. Again, because I believe right now you and Cole are the only two teams that really kind of live in the state tournament right now. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
you did miss it once, but at the same time, with that being said, again, you've won it 3 out of the 4 years, the last 4 years. So with that being said, that's you're doing something right. Not too many schools in 1A all the way to, well, I don't know about 1A and 2A, so I'm not going to misspeak. But I know for sure about 3A all the way to 6A. Not too many teams can say that every year they're in the state tournament and then they're having the best opportunity to win. So again, that's a credit to yourself and to all your players in your program. Anything else we need to know about you guys coming up, or
Like I said, yeah. And the good thing about, I mean, yeah, it's a good thing for us that, man, I know I probably won't have, this is probably my first, well, yeah, as far as I can remember, the first year I won't have one senior in my basketball program. And so I don't know. I know that's a good thing for us, but it'll give us a few challenges throughout this year. But yeah, man, from my sub varsity on up, we won't have one senior in my entire program. For the first time that I can remember.
That's
well,
pretty special. I think that's it's something that's unique. I'm sure a lot of coaches at different schools have their own challenges that they're faced with, or just new situations. I won't even call it a challenge, but I think something that you, like you just said, you don't have a single 2023 playing for you. So, you know, um, you got a different game to play than some of these other coaches that have older players. So that's cool. And again, it's not a good thing or a bad thing because, like you said, you're gonna whip them into shape, like you said. Um, but that's interesting to note that you don't have any 2023s that are gonna be playing for you this upcoming season. So that just gives people even more of a reason to watch you and see how you do. And if you guys come out being successful like you have been, like this is you're just even making an even bigger statement, because you don't have those older kids. So we're rooting for you.
and
I'm
then,
rooting for you. I know he's cold. I know he's cold.
hey, coach, I can't root for you, unfortunately,
I can root
because
for
I'm a
you.
cold guy. I'm definitely always going to still show you love. I promise I will. And again, that's why I wanted to make sure I had you on the show because I wanted to let you know that, hey, from afar, you still got people rooting for you to do a good job and continue doing what you're doing because, again, we need more programs like yourself and Cole and Hitchcock. We need more programs like that to be known that hey, you guys are doing it the right way, and again, you got athletes out there in them 3A schools that can go to a D1, D2 school with no problems. Don't Don't think because I'm in the 3A I can't play. And yourself, Cole, and Hitchcock last year, you guys all three proved it. And again, and that's why I wanted to make sure I had you guys on and you come on here. And also, one thing I left out, I believe you are a coach of the year, aren't you?
Yes.
What
Yes.
years did you win coach of the year? I know you're going to probably
I
win it
won
this
Coach
year.
of the Year in 20. I think it was maybe 20, 1920.
Yep.
Yes, 1920. Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe.
that's
But
good stuff.
hey man, that's okay. You being a cold guy, man. Coach Cantu does a great job.
Yes, he
Great
does.
job. Great job.
Yes, he does.
I have a lot of respect for the guy, man. We're good friends, man. He does a great job. I mean, extremely. Extremely. People always remember who won the game, but like I always tell them, like in the state championships we have won, it's only been 2 point games, 1 point games. It's not like we're winning by 20 points, 30 points. So that just shows and give a lot of credit to our opponents, and usually it's Cole. It just shows
Exactly.
and Coach does, man. He does a great job. He brings out the best in our kids. I know that. Trying to competing against them and trying to beat them, because that's actually it was our second time playing Cole last year.
Yes.
And I mean, and I can say this the humblest way possible. That is and that is respect for Coach Cantu, because if you notice on our schedule for the last 4 years, and it's just been something we've been traditionally known to do. I've never played a 3A team before district, ever, ever, never. We've never played a 3A team before district. But the fact that Cole had won the state championship that the previous season, we felt like we owed them that, and so someone set up that game. I think it was in the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest,
Yes, it was.
and yeah, we had to play that game, but that just to show our respect, for Cole and Coach Cantu and what them guys do down there.
Yes, and that's why again you got fans. You got fans because of that, right? You just said, you give that's very very big for you to recognize, other programs, and most winners and champions kind of they downplay their opponents, but again, that was very humble of you to do that, and thank you again. And coach, again, like I said, anything you need throughout the season, if you want to come back on, you need us to come check you out. I have no problems with coming up there and doing that. I sit through one of your practices, and again, just let us know what you need from us, and we'll definitely support you. You got fans. You just don't have a number one fan. I can't be a number one fan because I'm a cold guy. But again, I'll be a fan though, okay?
All right, man. Appreciate it. We
Thank you
appreciate
again,
it.
coach.
Everybody that's cheering for it.
And thank you again for allowing. I know it's late. Again, we apologize about that. Our next one won't be
Oh man,
late.
no
I
problem.
promise that. Again, thank you for finding time for us.
Yeah, thanks, coach.
Okay, no
We really
problem, man.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you guys.
All right, coach. Have a good one.
All right, y'all too, man.
All right, signing off.